the Game Awards sucked. And for a lot more reasons than you thought. Welcome. War Chief of Light is back from the epic video. Hi, my name's Peebiggy, but you lovely people are more than welcome to call me Peebs. And we are going down and dirty with the Video Game Awards because, Jesus. Those of you who don't know, the Video Game Awards are an accolade award system for video games for a ton of different categories. And let's not lie here, they make gajillions. And for a company making so much went wrong. So let's look at what went wrong in its entirety. And yes, there's a few in there I guarantee you didn't think about. But it's something. We're starting off the deep end. I'm going to tell you what their biggest mistake of the night was. The biggest mistake that the Video Game Awards did was not hand out awards. No, listen, most awards were giving out in a rapid fire succession. So that means most people that got an award didn't actually go up and be like, hey, look at my thing. I'm so proud of my team. You guys, you made it all possible. Nothing. None of that bullshit. They were like, hey, you won. Great. Next category. Great. They won. Yay. It offends me the most for the indie game of the year. Let me elaborate. Listen, the video game industry is a large mass of conglomerates that basically run a large percentage of what you see in video games. People that are running small games, small companies, small publishers that are not under these big umbrella companies are rare. They are rare to succeed, especially where they're swimming uphill. You know what I mean. It's an uphill battle for them to be able to compete with some of these big games. So, the Indie Award is the chance to step out and be, hey, yeah, these big corporations did their shit, but we're here. Let us have our spotlight. We kick ass. Look at the great games that we made. So, having that award, specifically, like all awards, there should have been some kind of acceptation or something, but that award specifically drives me crazy that they didn't include. And speaking of indie games, Dave the Diver. If you're not familiar, this was a game that was nominated in the indie category. Remember, I'm a big fan of this category because it's your up-and-comings and they're going against major conglomerations, right? Except Dave the Diver was made by a big conglomeration. They were made by Mint Rocket, which is owned by Nexus, a Korean company that, grossed $18 billion last year. So this was a place where you could finally give accolades to the little guy, and they put an $18 billion company in the middle of that. According to the Game Awards, who tried to justify this bullshit, was like, hey, listen, depending on how you do it, any game could be considered indie. You don't categorize games in a prestigious award system based on vibes. You don't. And I admit, Dave the Diver did give off indie vibes. However, that explains a lot of their success. And we don't need big corporate sneaking their way into this shit and making even more money. No, this needs to stay indie. And it was bullshit. So, they didn't give every single dev, publisher, company the laurels like they should have. Who else did they screw over? How about every single person that did go up to the podium to speak and accept an award? Each guest was given 30 seconds for their entirety of their speech to thank everybody and thank them for the awards and whatnot. They got a big screen in the back saying wrap it up, and music cut them off. Oh wait, Jeff Keighley did say that no, nobody got cut off. Not a single person got cut off. I think you know where this is going. They cut off their first fucking guest. Number one. Start watching the awards. Look at the first guest that went on the big stage. It was Neil Newbin. Astarion. He wanted an extra, what, like 8 seconds to talk about how he understands how Astarion is a person that a lot of people relate to as a survivor. And he sees them and he hears them. That's it. He had to shout that last bit over the music. And while we're at it, let's talk about a little bit of misogyny and prejudice slash racism, because that also happened. They cut somebody off below the 30-second mark because the man finished talking, switched it up to the female, and music. Yeah. And I know there are some people that are going to look at this and be like, no, 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 that's not misogyny. That's, it just happened. Look at the switch off. It wasn't as smooth. I'm a woman in tech. This ain't the first time I've seen it. It won't be the last. And to no one's surprise, not a single apology was ever said. Answer me this. If you are going to accept an award in a country which you do not speak the language, would you be given more time to accept the award since you have an interpreter? Turns out the Game Awards said no. You get 30. So that is everything you're saying being repeated. Move your ass. Just wrap it up. Time to go. Yeah, that's prejudice and a touch of racism. Just because they're not a native English speaker, they have to cut their shit shorter. If you think people got extra time because they won Game of the Year, no. Larian Studios didn't. They had to rush through their speech. Rush through the fact that they spoke about a recently deceased team member, which, if you follow them on Twitter, it's quite recent. So it's definitely close to their hearts. And in that rush, they forgot to mention that their game just fucking launched on Xbox. That's how the actual winners, the big kahuna, the #1 award, were treated. Now this one might be the Video Game Awards' fault, it might not. Okay? But do you think they vet all of the world premiere trailers that they put out on their show prior to going live with them? I feel like that's a standard question. Because if we're going by the Game Awards trailers, 2024 and 2025 is going to be a very shitty year for gaming. Shitty 2 years. If you don't like sci-fi shooters. Because, sweet Jesus, if I replayed the Game Awards for you and took out 5 sci-fi shooters, you wouldn't know which one. You wouldn't be able to tell me. Literally, carbon copy, like it. Goddamn. There was zero variety in it. And I mean, again, I assume they vet their commercials, but did they? Did they? Or did they speak to the highest bidder? I'm not done, by the way. There's more. Of course there's more. Like, for example, did you notice some cultural appropriation when the Viking theme song played? This one's small. This one was hard to notice, but she was there. So, pro tip, Viking style makeup and Viking inspired things have never included lines down the front of their face, the mouth area. Never. Okay? It got popular for a little bit. It got debunked, I want to say like 8 months ago, heavily. So why are people still doing it? We know. We know. They're indigenous. Those lines are indigenous. Whether it be the Maori, whether it be the Inuit people, they're indigenous. So no, don't do that. One thing that pissed me off, truly made me angry about these video game awards, and this is about audacity. The Video Game Awards had the audacity to leave super chats on their YouTube. So that means after making a gajillion dollars with the ads, the seats, the planning, whatever goes into it that you don't know about, because again, they keep their money close to their chest. We know why. People were giving hundreds of dollars so that their message would appear higher than others. I don't give financial advice as a rule, but don't give your money to corporate conglomerates for nothing. Like, you got nothing out of it. You got your name highlighted for 0.5 seconds until the next guy did it. Like, literally, you got nothing out of that. If you were going for a contest, which is still wrong, don't do it. Fine. If you were putting your name in for something, you're purchasing something. Listen, we can talk about ethics later, about what you're buying and why. You actually bought nothing. You got no DLC. Nothing came out of this. Don't do that. And Game Awards, what the fuck? Turn that shit off. Listen, again, you're making a gajillion. This was blatant. Don't do that. Now, speaking of big corporate, because somebody has to, because the Game Awards won't. 2023 was one of the best years in gaming products. That's right, products. And I need you guys to remember that big time. It was also a very great year for video game profits. Record-breaking profits for the most part, except Epic. What did you do, Epic? Well, we know what you did. But I'm telling you, you need to remember that part. Because it wasn't great for the video game industry. This year had record-breaking layoffs, both active and inactive. Which, by the way, do you know what an inactive layoff is? That's the people that are on contracts, or people that you don't refill their position when they leave. So yeah, you bring your head count down, and you don't have to report that as part of layoffs. Which, contractors are a whole other problem in the video game, and I mean corporate America, Canada thing. Remember, these people are hired with the express intention by the company to let them go whenever you damn well please, while telling the contractor, hey, if you work really hard, you'll get in with us. Because remember, you don't even need to give notice or severance to a contractor. So, best year in gaming? No. Best year in game products and profit? Yes. And I didn't expect the Video Game Awards to talk about it. Listen, they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. They ain't stupid. Again, they're probably making gajillions off of them. They know better. However, their silence was deafening. This one is one that I don't understand, and I would love for somebody to take 5 minutes and explain it to me. Why is Kojima getting superstar treatment? I would love to get... Listen, this publisher brings out beautiful looking trailers. They bring out a new perspective on some very scary games and stuff. I get that. I'm not arguing with you. They got the biggest segment of anyone, including the band that played the medley of the Game of the Year games, to show a trailer that told you nothing, and to bring out a celebrity. Kojima got 16 times more airtime than Larian Studios did, and they won Game of the Year. And Kojima's never won a Game of the Year. And no, I'm not picking on him. That wasn't the point of the comment. I just want you to see, like, what This at least doesn't make sense to me. So chances are, and I'm assuming, that either this was a financial decision or they really like the guy. Which brings me to my next point. Couple things. One, E3 just today, as I am filming this, just announced that they will no longer be holding E3. It is no longer a thing. So, these world premieres that we've been getting will now only come from the source, so like your Sony, your Nintendo updates, whatever the case may be, and places like the Game Awards. The Game Awards knew this. Okay? Obviously. They're a big player in the market. They got some insider information. I guarantee you they do this. Secondly, the wool's no longer over your eyes. Let's be real. The Game Awards used to be a finely blurred line between award and a sales pitch. They have now crossed that line completely. Blatantly. Disgustingly. And let's be real here, we know why.
Money. The answer is money.
So they now have one of the largest platforms to announce games, period. The wool is no longer over our eyes. We see it for what it is. Will they change? No, they're not going to. Don't expect them to. Why would they? Their business model works excessively well. I mean, they may change little stuff like more time to the speakers. Maybe put out a couple more bigger awards. But I guarantee you, they will find more ways to put ads in there. Guaranteed. Why? Because, again, it's lucrative. So I don't know how to solve this, if I'm being totally honest. But remember, the Game Awards is showing you who they are. A massive corporation out there to do nothing except make money. So that's all I can think of about the Game Awards. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I missed some, because I probably did. It was shit. But either way, let me know in the comment section down below. If you like getting nerdy, you like silly, you like watching live streams and gaming and just nerdy shit in general, you're in the right spot. Subscribe, ring the bell, look up War Chief Peeps. Listen, I'm on everywhere from Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, I'm there. In the meantime, though, have a legendary night. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you guys again on the next one. Bye! You know what? Out of everything that I hated about the Game Awards, there's one thing that I enjoyed, and it was the pepper of RPGs that slipped in there, and some of them look really, really good. Listen, watching the Persona trailer, I already have so many games to finish, and then this shows up. I'm screwed.